I'm going to tell a story today, a story about the court system and a story about God's system. I'm going to make a comparison. The house I live in today, I lost back in the year of 2000. What is it now? 2024? I bought it back 10, 12, 14, 10, 12 years ago I bought it back. But I went through a deal in the court system where I was falsely accused of more than once of different things. And I know some of you think that, well, if you're innocent, just tell the truth. It doesn't work that way in the court system many times. It was really frustrating for me because I was telling the truth, I was innocent, and there were people lying about me. People actually in the system lying about me also because for whatever reasons they didn't like me. And at that time I was really big into Christianity, which didn't work for me, or maybe I didn't work it right, okay? And it said in the Bible that God would vindicate me if I just stayed straight and did the right thing and was honest, and he would take care of my enemies. At that time I didn't realize that the enemies were within me, and those people out there who were trying to destroy me were really just a reflection of the enemy within myself. I think it's Lao Tzu said, if there is no enemy within, there can be no enemy without. So I went through all that and I ended up losing my house, lost my daughter, my adopted son, and a lot of money and some land, and I could go on and on. So I really was kind of bitter at God because I thought he didn't do what he said he was going to do, and I did what I was supposed to do. But the reality is this. I am back here in this house today and more prosperous and successful than I ever was before. And not so much the outside prosperity and success, which is great, but that really, again, is a reflection of what's going on the inside. I needed to go through that fire to purge out the impurities in me. Now, am I pure now? Of course not. I still have impurities. But I was looking at the Bible and the teachings literally and in my idea of the time span it should happen. So if you're going through something today and you stand tight with your principles, your integrity, and your character, even when everybody else is lying and trying to destroy you, God will vindicate you. But it may not happen in the way or in the time that you believe it to happen. During this whole process, my daughter was put in foster care. And I had the foster care under surveillance. And there was something that wasn't right there. And I told them, but they wouldn't do anything. So I got it on the local news because at that time we didn't have anything except the news. And it ran at, I think 3 times one day. And that was all the media we had back then. It was the St. Louis News. Anyway, that really pissed off a lot of people in the system because I said something is going on here and I don't want my daughter there. Well, they gave me my daughter back, but there were some people that were still pissed off because they were embarrassed by that news story. Then they were out to get me. So eventually, long story short, they came after me. I got falsely accused of something else. I had to leave the country for 6 years. They had taken my daughter away from me again. Before I left, then they came after me and I left. And I was really, during that time, that was my desert experience. I really was kind of frustrated with God. I was kind of angry with him. But really, this was the time I needed to gain some humility and realize I can't see the big picture. Long story short, years later, how many years later? 21 years later or 2, I'm back in the house. And the very home, foster home that my kid was in, they arrested the man that was running that. And 2 years before my daughter was in there, and for I don't know how many, 10, 15, 20 years after, this man was accused of, I'll say it this way, mistreating the children. And they took him to jail. I don't know whatever happened to him. I didn't follow up the court case. I talked to my daughter and she said, as far as she remembered, he never did anything to her. So by me raising hell and causing problems and keeping an eye on them and had them under surveillance, maybe that saved her, but it didn't save the other kids. So even though I was right, see, they still came after me, and I still got persecuted for it. So what I'm telling you is, you may be doing the right things and walking the right road and being honest and just, but it doesn't mean you're going to get what you want when you want it, or that God is going to vindicate you in that moment. But you have to walk the path less traveled, and in the end, you will be vindicated and you will be restored, but maybe not how you thought or through the system. I realize now that it was my impatience and my expectations of God. There was nothing wrong with Christianity or the way that the Bible taught. It's a book of wisdom, and you can't take it all literally, and you can't put a time frame on when God's going to act. And that's basically what I did. How he's going to act and when he's going to act. The time is where we get mixed up. It's like when you plant a seed. It's got an appointed hour when it's going to blossom. And your part is just to water it once in a while and leave it the hell alone. And allow it to grow. Quit trying to run the show. I did that for many years. And God has a way of beating you down to your right size. For in fire gold is tested, and worthy men in the crucible of humiliation. So if you are going through the crucible of humiliation and you're getting treated unjustly, take heart, have hope, because he's preparing you for something great if you can endure the test, if you want to look at it as a test, if you can endure the character building, the integrity building, the strength building. We need resistance. And if you have a big dream like I do, you need a lot of resistance. You need a lot of adversity. You need a lot of character building to build that integrity for when you get to where you want to go, you won't self-sabotage and destroy it. So keep your hope up, have courage, and you'll get through what you're going through. You just need to take care of what's going on inside of you and do what's right. What you know is right. And these other people will fall by the wayside. I don't know what happened to everybody that was against me, everybody that was lying about me, but I know some of the main characters, and I have empathy for them today because they are miserable. Their life has been a struggle and difficult. I don't glory in that. I'm not happy about that, but that's what happens. So hang in there, keep moving forward, trust God, clean house, and help others. Take care.